Yours?
No, I didn't.
Whose mobile is this?
Turn it off. I don't know. Not mine. It's yours, of course.
Mine? Oh my God. Hello. Buddho susuddho karuna mahanavo jo chant shuddha vargyan lochano lokas papupakile shaghatko Bandami buddhang ahamadaridatam Buddhang sharanang gacchami Dhammang sharanang gacchami Sangham sharanang gacchami. Homage to the Buddha, the fully awakened one, the enlightened one. We have all assembled here under the most sacred Bodhi tree in the premises of the Mahabodhi Mahavihara, Bodh Gaya, once again this year to hold the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. It was after a 2 years hiatus brought on by the pandemic that the International Tipitaka Chanting Program had returned to India this year in March with its chanting program. This time too, it started from New Delhi in October 22nd, visiting all the sacred sites where the Buddha lived and preached, including Lucknow, and the addition of a new site that is at the World Heritage Sites, Ajanta and Ellora, on 27th October 2022. It has now culminated here under the shades of the Bodhi tree in a 10-day Tipitaka chanting ceremony starting from today, where the International Sangha will recite from the Milinda Panna. There will be Dhamma talks under the Bodhi tree from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. until the 11th December 2022. The Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International has also made arrangements of streaming live today's inaugural ceremony and certain programs drawn up for the next 10 days. In bringing the International Sangha of monks and lay followers together in this way, The foundation has been supporting the Buddhist culture of India, and it's demonstrating the vitality and relevance of this ancient religion in this modern world. It has dedicated itself in reviving the Buddha Dhamma in India by working to promote pilgrimages, to develop the Buddhist circuit, to educate the monks, and support the Buddhist publications. Buddhism is the third largest world religion and a unifying force in Southeast Asia and the Far East. To see the great country of India playing a role in its development will be a great benefit both for the region and the entire world. The International Tipitaka Chanting was inaugurated in 2006 on the occasion of the 2550th Buddha Jayanti at Bodh Gaya. With the sponsorship of the Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, the International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony is usually organized every year in December under this sacred Bodhi tree in the premises of the Mahabodhi Mahavihara Temple. Sequential sections from the Pali Canon are chanted on each occasion so that eventually the entire canon will have been recited under this sacred tree where the historical Buddha Sakyamuni had attained enlightenment. The offering of a Maitreya Buddha statue early this year in April, which measures more than 7 feet tall, to the Mahabodhi temple is indeed praiseworthy. The statue was hand-sculpted by the most venerable Tarthang Tulku Rinpoche in the United States of America. Commencing today's inaugural ceremony of the 17th Tipitaka Chanting, which is being dedicated to world peace, inner harmony, and for the longevity of the Buddha Sasana. This year's International Tipitaka Chanting is being sponsored by the Vietnamese Mahasangha. Awakening the sounds of the precious Dhamma for the benefit of all beings, the Vietnam chief organizers, International Mahasangha, welcomes one and all under the shade of the Bodhi tree.
Chúng con đảnh lễ Đức Bổn Sư. Chúng ta có mặt ở đây dưới cội Bồ Đề thiêng liêng để bắt đầu lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng Kinh Điển lần thứ 17. Sau 2 năm rất là thách thức của thế giới với đại dịch toàn cầu, chúng ta lại có mặt ở đây tham dự buổi lễ long trọng này. Buổi lễ bắt đầu từ tháng 3 và tiếp theo từ thủ đô Delhi vào ngày 22 tháng 10, đi đến rất là nhiều các thánh tích, và chúng ta có mặt ở đây ngày hôm nay để bắt đầu 10 ngày Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng. Lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng năm nay bắt đầu bởi phẩm Vi Tiên Vấn Đáp Tiểu Bộ Kinh. Và cứ như vậy, cứ mỗi năm thì sẽ một phần của Tam Tạng Kinh Điển sẽ được tụng, và đến một lúc chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau trùng tụng toàn bộ Tam Tạng Kinh Điển của Đức Phật, và sẽ có các bài thuyết pháp dưới cội Bồ Đề vào mỗi ngày. Tổ chức Ánh Sáng Phật Giáo Thế Giới sẽ livestream buổi lễ ngày hôm nay và 10 ngày tiếp theo. Tổ chức này đã có công rất là lớn để xiển dương Phật giáo tại nơi Đức Phật thuyết pháp và thành đạo và thuyết pháp, và có công rất là lớn về giáo dục các chư tăng, phát triển giáo pháp của Đức Bổn Sư tại quê hương của Ngài. Và Phật giáo là đạo lớn thứ 3 trên thế giới, và với cái mong muốn thống nhất những các tiềm lực ở châu Á và vùng Viễn Đông, tổ chức này sẽ đóng một vai trò rất lớn trên sự phát triển, đem đến những lợi ích rất to lớn với Phật giáo và toàn thế giới. Lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng bắt đầu từ năm 2006, tức là 2550 Phật lịch, và cứ như vậy mỗi năm vào tháng 12 dưới cội Bồ Đề thiêng liêng này, Bảo Tháp Mahabodhi cứ mỗi một phần tạng kinh được tụng cho đến khi toàn bộ kinh điển của Đức Phật được trùng tụng. Tượng Phật Di Lặc Maitreya Buddha đã được tổ chức này cúng dường cho cội Bồ Đề, và đây cũng là một sự đóng góp rất là lớn cho hòa bình thế giới và giáo pháp của Đức Phật. Và lần này lễ trùng tụng Tam Tạng Kinh Điển lần thứ 17 được tài trợ và tổ chức bởi quốc gia Việt Nam, và sau đây sẽ là chương trình của buổi lễ.
That was the interpretation in Vietnamese, as we have a large number of Sangha members from Vietnam, including lay devotees. Commencing this opening ceremony of the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony, as chief guest, we have our former President of India, Dr. Ramnath Kovindji, as the chief guest for today's opening ceremony. I would now invite our chief guest, along with our senior Buddhist members, to please light the inaugural lamp and declare open the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. Our senior Buddhist elders from 11 countries that include Vietnam, the most venerable from Vietnam, Venerable Ashin Nyani, the International Tipitaka Chanting Council President from Myanmar, from Bangladesh, Mahatero Professor Bonashri, Sanganaik of Bangladesh, from Cambodia, Fra Yetimuni, from India, Venerable Bhikkhu Pragyadeep, from Indonesia, Venerable Chittagutu Mahatera, from Laos, the most venerable Onta, from the most venerable from Nepal and Sri Lanka, from Thailand, Venerable Phra Dhamma Bodhivong, and from Vietnam, the most venerable Dhamma Nanso.
Đây là lễ thắp đèn dưới cội Bồ Đề bởi Ngài Cựu Tổng thống Ấn Độ và đại diện các vị cao tăng đến từ 11 quốc gia có mặt ở tại cội Bồ Đề thiêng liêng ngày hôm nay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Lighting of the inaugural light over, I would now invite our senior Buddhist monks to speak a word and convey their blessings of the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. It's for 2 minutes each. First of all, I would like to invite the International Tipitaka Chanting Council President, Venerable Ashin Nyanasera. Lễ thắp đèn dưới cội Bồ Đề đã hoàn mãn. Sau đây chúng con xin mời đại diện mỗi vị cao tăng của mỗi quốc gia tham dự sẽ ban phước cho buổi lễ. Mỗi vị sẽ có 2 phút để thực hiện phần ban phước của mình.
Good afternoon. Sumingalo Ayankalo. Now we are gathering under the Mahabodhi tree on the very, very holiest spot on this area. Buddha, where Buddha attained the enlightenment. This is the most supreme, most significant place in the world. Now we are very lucky, very wonderful chance to have Buddha's Tipitaka recitation here. But according to the program, very tight. I would like to share my knowledge with you in this afternoon. Most venerable, highly respected Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana Sangha, I pay my deep respect. And then, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, especially main organizers of Vietnamese people, I extend my loving kindness. May all of you be liberated from any kind of sorrow and suffering. May you attain the enlightenment under this Bodhi tree in this very spot. I would like to share my knowledge only three significant words exhorted by the Buddha himself. 623 years before Jesus, Siddhartha Gautama, Prince Siddhartha Gautama was born at the Lumini Garden under the Sala tree at the midst of the Deva and Brahma. As soon as he was born, he stood on his foot. Very wonderful man. He stood in his foot, unaided and guided by any supernatural agency. He walked to the north, 7 steps, unaided and guided any supernatural power. And then he raised his right hand, Atta. 3 significant words. 1. Egohamasmi lokasa. I am the most supreme in this world. Announce. And second, Ayamandima jadi. This is my last birth. Third one. Nati Dani Punabo. There is no more rebirth for me in this world, in any other world. This is the first utterance. Very lovely, significant words of the Siddhartha, the Gautama. And second, 588 BC, Siddhartha Gautama totally eradicated all of the defilement, impurity under this Bodhi tree, in this holy place. He attained the supreme enlightenment, became the greatest, the religious teacher of the world. He became the greatest teacher of the gods and men in this holy place. He uttered very lovely, very beautiful, very significant 2 words. Visankara gadan jedang danana kaya majaga. Very wonderful, astonishing words. Expounded, exhorted, proclaimed, atta under this body in this very supreme place. Visankhara gadan chaitan means my mind reach unconditional nibbana here. And second, the nanankaya majaga. I destroy all of bodhasi craving totally without exception. I achieve the cessation of craving. This is the second significant word exalted by the Buddha under this Bodhi tree. After attainment of enlightenment, he lived as a Buddha for 45 years. As a Buddha for 45 years. Within 45 years, what he taught? He taught only the Dhamma. Only the Dhamma. Dhamma is neither religion nor any kind of a ism, but the wonderful technique to search for realities and truth and peace within ourselves in this very long body. And last one, very significant word. At the age of 80, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, greatest teacher of men and God, founder of a greatest religion, which is a Dhamma, he passed into Pranibbana at the Kushinara, under the Sala tree, in the midst of the 700,000 bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, countless number of deities gathered together to pay last respect. At that time, on the same full moon day, was born on full moon day, attained the enlightenment on full moon day, passed into Pranibbana also full moon day. Very sacred day, this is full moon day. After midnight, before the dawn, Siddhartha Gautama the Buddha, greatest religious teacher of the mankind and God, he uttered a short last word. Vaya Dhamma Sankhara Abamadina Sambadita. Vaya Dhamma Sankhara Abamadina Sambadita. Vaya Dhamma Sankhara Abamadina Sambadita. This is the last word. Very significant words exalted by the greatest teacher. Vaya Dhamma Sankhara, all compounded and conditional things, has their nature constantly flux. All compounded and conditional things has their nature constantly flux. Therefore, all of my dear brothers and my dear sisters, all of our Bhikkhu Sangha and Bhikkhuni Sangha, Apamadina Samparita, try hard, work hard, strive hard with mindfulness, ardently effort to complete your task. To complete your task. Try hard with mindfulness, ardently effort to complete our task. To complete our task means that to complete sila, to complete samadhi, to complete panya. These are our duty. to complete these three duties in our dispensation, trying hard with the mindfulness ardently. Appamadena Sambarita. Thank you all.
I would now invite the Most Venerable Chalanji, the President of the International Pali Tipitaka Chanting Council.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa sappapa patsakaranam kusarasu pasambata sakita pariyotapanam etam buddhana sasananti. Respect Senior Mod Bendraman Mong, our former President, Madam, our distinguished who come to join this ceremony at the chief guest. I'm on behalf of ITCC President. He come to join with us, our chief guest today, from the beginning. I can say, I'm heard about his, accept our invitation, come to join our ceremony. I'm really very happy in my heart. So, our chief speaker told me that for me 5 minutes. So, I start about Sappapa Patsakaranam. I think so is sufficient for short time. Sappapa Patsakaranam, पाली भाषा हो तो हम लोग इंडियन भाषा होता है. Sappapa Patsakaranam, don't do bad things. Don't do bad things. Don't speak bad words. Don't thinking is bad thinkings. Why I have to say that? Body, we should do good things. He said in Pali, Kaya Sucharita. Kaya Sucharita, very powerful. Acha kam karna. Very powerful. If we have done bad thing, we will be bad. If we have done good thing, we will be good. The two Lord Buddha, very useful verse. If we know, we follow, we concentrate, we will know all the full meaning. Kaya Sucharita. Second, Vaki Sucharita. When we speak with anyone, we should speak with a useful word for anyone. Now, a day, if when politician, diplomat, they use very, what we say, Vaki Sucharita, for anyone, their word will be peaceful words, and that word will bring, what we say, friendship to anybody. For example, now, day by day, this world, many where in this world too much fighting. Why fighting? Due to heart is not good heart. If good heart, no enemy, only friendship, only friend. We say the mano sucharita, our heart, good heart. We talk with anyone with our pure heart, good heart, lovely heart, kindness heart, with anyone. Then this world will bring the peace to our world. Due to Lord Buddha message. So why we have to organize Tipitaka Chanting out in the motherland of Buddhism in India? Because it's the motherland of Buddhism. The land to send the message to all the beings in this world, come to be living together in peaceful way, no fighting to each other. This one now need this thing. So to why we come to assembly together in this place. We need peace. We need love. Love and peace. This should come to this world. We should living together in peaceful way. So on behalf of ITCC President, on behalf of our Bodhakaya, on behalf of our administration who come to serve, who come to look after our organizing committee to do this work, to send a message to all the beings in this world, to living peaceful living together. Thank you very much.
I would now invite the Most Venerable Professor Bonoshri Mahathera, the Sanghanayaka of Bangladesh.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sarvage ami ত্রিলোক শাস্তা দেব মনুষ্য পূজিত মহাকারণিক তথাগত সম্যক সম্বুদ্ধকে সশ্রদ্ধ বন্দনা করি। 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony মহতি অনুষ্ঠানে সম্মানিত বিভিন্ন দেশ থেকে আগত মহান ভিক্ষু সংঘ উদ্যোগকার এই মহত্বপূর্ণ অনুষ্ঠানের চিফ গেস্ট প্রধান অতিথি বৃন্দ, সদ্ধর্মের অনুসারী উপাসক উপাসিকা, সুধী সজ্জন মণ্ডলী, আমি বাংলাদেশের 29তম সংঘনায়ক প্রফেসর বনশ্রী মহাথেরা, বাংলাদেশ বৌদ্ধ ভিক্ষু সংঘের পক্ষ থেকে, বৌদ্ধদের পক্ষ থেকে আমি আপনাদের সবাইকে আন্তরিক মৈত্রীময় শুভেচ্ছা জ্ঞাপন করছি।
Respected Mahasangha, honorable members of the devotees from the various countries, at the beginning, I would like to pay the triple gems and pay respect to the Buddha. And today, I would like to gratitude my sincere thanks to all the participants, and these 17 the Tipitaka Chanting program to be present. I am honored, and also thanks to the chief guest of the former president, His Excellency, and honorable honorable guest, and thanks to be here today.
Bahujana hitaya, bahujana sukaya, Tipitaka Chanting. অধ্যকার এই মহতিপূর্ণ অনুষ্ঠানে সম্মানিত ভিক্ষু সংঘ সুধীর সজ্জন মণ্ডলী, ভগবান বুদ্ধের অন্তর ছিল বিশ্ব অন্তর। একমাত্র ভগবান বুদ্ধে বলেছিলেন, সব্বে সত্তা সুখিতা হন্তু, জগতের সকল প্রাণী সুখী হোক। সব্বে সত্তা দুঃখ বোধছন্তু, জগতের সকল প্রাণী দুঃখ থেকে মুক্তি লাভ করুক। সব্বে সত্তা যথালব্ধা সম্পত্তিতুম অবিগচ্ছন্তু কর্মস্যকা, যার যার সম্পদ আছে শান্তিতে ভোগ করুক। কত বড় অন্তরের কথা! অন্য কোনো ধর্ম প্রবর্তক এই ধরনের কথা বলেছেন কি?
So, on behalf of the 29th Sanganayaka of Bangladesh, on the Bangladesh Buddhist community, I would like to thank that the Buddha have been said that all sentient beings be happy. Only the one beings in the world and 31 planets, the Buddha is the only one person who wishes to be all sentients being happy. So this is the hardness of our Buddhism.
বৌদ্ধ ধর্ম বিশ্ব মৈত্রীর ধর্ম, বিশ্ব শান্তির ধর্ম। বর্তমান দ্বন্দ্ব সংঘাতময় অশান্ত বিশ্বে মানুষের মনুষ্যত্ব মানবতা লোপ পেয়েছে। এহেন সর্বনাশা পরিস্থিতিতে ভগবান বুদ্ধের বাণী খুবই প্রয়োজন। ভগবান বুদ্ধের সাম্যমৈত্রী অহিংসার বাণীর দ্বারাই জগৎ শান্তিময় হতে পারে।
So the message of the Buddha, so all the beings in this chaos world is very appropriate. So now the world is fighting each other. So if the message of the Buddha, if we follow, then there will be the peaceness in our heart. Then also by our heart, all the sentient beings will be happy, and we can remain in the peaceful in the environment and peaceful society.
বুদ্ধের ধর্ম মূলত দুঃখ মুক্তির ধর্ম। বুদ্ধগয়া বজ্রাসনে ভগবান বুদ্ধ এই দুঃখ মুক্তির পথ, চারি আর্য সত্য, আর্য অষ্টাঙ্গিক মার্গ এবং বুদ্ধের অভিনব আবিষ্কার, সেটা সংক্ষেপে দুঃখ মুক্তির লোভ দেশ মহাদীপ তৃষ্ণাকে ক্ষয় করে দুঃখ মুক্তির পথ, যে বিবেচনা সাধনা, বিদর্শন ভাবনা, এটাই একমাত্র দুঃখ মুক্তির পথ।
So the message of the Buddha, the most important thing is the Four Noble Truths and the Eight Noble Path, and also the Buddha's teaching is how to you reduce the lobha desa moha. This is the prime force of the Buddha's teaching.
পরিশেষে আমি ত্রিপিটক শান্তিং কাউন্সিলের সদস্য ওয়ান মোর দেখছি এবং অপর আবার সদস্যদের প্রতি কৃতজ্ঞতা এবং ধন্যবাদ জানাই। এবং যে ত্রিপিটক অনুষ্ঠানের সাফল্য কামনা করে আবারও সবার মঙ্গল কামনা করে আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করছি। সব্যে সত্তা সুবিতা হন্তু।
At the end, I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to the organizer of the 27th the Tipitaka Chanting and the chief sponsor, and also the dear Dr. Dikshit and all these the team members. So on behalf of Bangladesh, I would like to thanks again to be here today, and also all this Buddhist community of Bangladesh. I wish you all the best and success the Tipitaka Chanting program here today. Thank you.
We shall continue with the blessings, words of blessings from the senior Buddhist leaders after a short while, as our chief guest has to leave in a short while. So I shall invite now our chief guest, Your Excellency, Dr. Ramnath Kovindji, to please speak a few words on this auspicious occasion.
Most Venerable Mahasangha, foreign delegates, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I feel immensely delighted to be here with you all today in this gathering of spiritually inspired people. I heartily welcome you all, those assembled here. It is a great pleasure to be in the vicinity of the sacred Bodhi tree, a place that I always cherish deeply in my mind. I have come here many times, and I find that every visit becomes a profound experience. I am happy to see the Mahabodhi Mahavihar temple looking so magnificent. It is a befitting monument to the great spiritual tradition it represents. I express my admiration to the members of the Bodh Gaya Temple Management Committee for the impressive maintenance of the temple. We are delighted and greatly appreciative of all the efforts that Mrs. Bangmo Dixie, Mr. Richard, and the members of Light of Buddha Dharma Foundation International have made in sponsoring and leading such events. I still remember she had met me along with her husband when I was in Rashtrapati Bhavan, say about 6 months back, and she desired that I should be present here. So I feel rather grateful to her and to the blessings of Lord Buddha and to all the monks assembled here that I happen to be today amongst you all. I convey my appreciation to all the active members of Light of Buddha Dharma Foundation International, India. You are engaged in a noble cause. You are all ambassadors of world peace. On behalf of fellow Indians, I thank all of you for making the effort to travel to this seat of enlightenment and gathering in such large numbers in this holy place. I am delighted to see so many senior representatives from the Buddhist communities of Southeast Asia, Europe, and America. We are pleased that you choose to visit our country again and again, and sincerely hope that your every visit will be fulfilling and pleasant. To have over 11 countries gathered here in such numbers and to see this great place decorated so beautifully is a wonderful experience. I appreciate all those who have arranged all this. I particularly praise the Vietnamese Sangha and all those who have assisted them. Ladies and gentlemen and honorable monks, I find the Bodhi tree as a source of nourishment for entire humanity. When I was living in the Rashtrapati Bhavan as the 14th President of India, I had arranged to get small branches of this great Bodhi tree and got them planted in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I got it done at 2 different locations on 2 sacred occasions. Now those saplings have become young trees. Those 2 Bodhi trees have become a living bond between Rashtrapati Bhavan on the one hand and Bodh Gaya and the great tradition of Lord Buddha on the other. It is humbling to recall the great moment in history when Sanghamitra, the daughter of Ashoka the Great, carried the small branches of the Bodhi tree to Sri Lanka in a ship which she boarded at the port of Tamralipti, now known as Tamluk, located in today's West Bengal in the eastern part of India. Venerable monks, recently I undertook a 10-day residential course in Vipassana. I must say that it was a great experience. I was very keen to do the Vipassana course, but due to my responsibilities as the Governor of Bihar, later on followed by my tenure as the President of India, I could not attend the course. I was looking for the earliest opportunity, which I availed of it during the 10-day period starting 2nd November 2022. Vipassana is a gift of India to humanity. It is also central to the Buddhist path of self-realization. I feel that practicing Vipassana can help strengthen the values of peace, harmony, loving kindness, and compassion. These are the values that Mahakarnika Buddha wanted every human being to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, and honorable monks, I commend the efforts of the International Tipitaka Chanting Council for its wonderful activities. It is of particular importance that the International Tipitaka Chanting ceremony continues to flourish. I am told that it is now in its 17th year at the great Mahabodhi Mahavihara here in Bodh Gaya. This in itself is a great achievement, as our world struggles with so many problems and conflicts today. By coming every year to this holy place and offering prayers for the well-being of the entire humanity, you are setting an example and spreading a much-needed message. Our democracy, the largest in the world, is infused with the spirit of Buddhism. Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution, in his historic address to the Constituent Assembly, stated that procedures adopted in the Buddhist Sanghas are still used in the same terms, are still being used, like censor motion, adjournment motion, counting of votes, etc. In the Lok Sabha chamber, the directly elected larger house of our parliament, the words Dharma Chakra Pravartanaya are written behind the chair of the presiding officer, that is the speaker. India's national symbol, the lion capital, has been adopted from the Ashokan pillar at Sarnath, the place where Dhamma Chakra Pravartanaya discourse was given by the Lord Buddha. There is an image of the Dharma Chakra in the center of our national flag, the tricolor. Thus, the symbols, practices, and spirit of Buddhist teachings are part of the Indian democracy at work. Indeed, this gathering is a testament to the great influence the spiritual traditions of India have had on the world stage. Indian people try to carry forward this heritage. The great motherland of India has always held spirituality close to her heart and offers solace to all those who search for deeper meaning and fulfillment. India is a land of many religions, and the deep teachings of the Buddha Dharma have their roots here. As the years go by, more and more archaeological remains are emerging. I have been told that in Bihar alone, there are over 1,500 attested sites dedicated to Buddhist activities. It is pleasing to see Bihar remaining a center for Buddhist pilgrimage, just as it was in ancient times. The ancient university at Nalanda, only 30 miles from here, had students from so many countries. Pilgrims and students from several countries continued to visit the Buddhist universities of northern India until well after 1200 before Common Era, that is BCE. Of course, Buddhist people from all over the world come to these places not only to marvel and explore ancient remains, but to practice a living and vibrant religion. They remember and rejoice in the profound teachings the Buddha gave in these places. Their presence is in turn a great stimulus for social development and economic activity in all the regions that surround these locations. I have also been told that on December 13, that is next 2 days, there will be a historic walk through the Jethian Valley that connects Bodh Gaya with the city of Rajgir and University of Nalanda. This landscape was once walked by the Buddha himself with the great Mahasangha. This is a wonderful initiative and should be encouraged for all international pilgrims. We hope that all spiritually inclined people will find time to come and visit the places where the Buddha walked and gave his sermons. Once again, I extend my warmest greetings to all of you and also my best wishes for the activities you will undertake in the days to come. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Before our chief guest departs, we have now presentation of mementos to the chief guest by the International Pali Tipitaka Council, the Light of Buddha Dhamma International, and the Vietnam International Sangha.
Kính thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là lời phát biểu của vị cựu tổng thống Ấn Độ. Ngài là vị tổng thống lần 14 của Ấn Độ. Ngài có nhiệm kỳ năm 2017 đến năm 2022. Lần này lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng rất vinh dự được Ngài cựu tổng thống của Ấn Độ đến tham dự buổi lễ khai mạc cũng như là có lời chúc mừng. Tất cả Phật tử đến Thánh địa Ấn Độ sẽ là nơi mà chúng ta đặt niềm tin và nhớ lại thực hành theo lời dạy của Đức Phật.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Continuing with our blessings of the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting opening ceremony, I would now invite our host from Vietnam, the Most Venerable Dhamma Vanso.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Respected Mahasangha, dear excellent government officials and honorable guests, dear Upasaka, Upasika, and Dhamma friends, the International Tipitaka Chanting ceremony has been organized 17 times to gather the four Buddhist Sangha to recite and reflect the Buddha's teaching. Vietnam is honored to be chief organizer in 2019, and after that, the COVID-19 broke out. So many people died, so much loss, materially and mentally. Therefore, those beings still alive and having opportunity to practice the Dhamma is a blessing. Today, on behalf of the Vietnamese Sangha, I would like to recite a Pali verse with a sincere heart, wishing peace and happiness to all living beings. Kính bạch Đại Tăng, kính thưa quý vị quan chức chính phủ và quý vị khách quý. Đại lễ Tụng Tam Tạng Pali quốc tế đã được tổ chức 17 lần. Quy tụ tăng đoàn Phật giáo bốn phương để trì tụng và suy ngẫm về lời Đức Phật dạy. Việt Nam vinh dự là trưởng ban tổ chức năm 2019. Nhưng sau đó, đại dịch COVID-19 bùng phát. Biết bao nhiêu người chết, biết bao nhiêu mất mát, cả vật chất lẫn tinh thần. Vì vậy, chỉ cần còn sống và có cơ hội thực hành giáo pháp đã là một điều may mắn. Hôm nay, thay mặt cho Tăng đoàn Việt Nam, tôi xin tụng một bài kệ bằng tiếng Pali với tấm lòng chân thành cầu chúc an lạc và hạnh phúc cho tất cả chúng sinh. Yang kinchi ratanang loke vichati vivitha poturatanang buddhasamang nathitasma sothi bhavantu te. Yang kinchi ratanang loke vichati vivithang poturatanang dhammasamang nathitasma sothi bhavantu te. Yang kinchi ratanang loke vichati vivithang poturatanang sanghasamang nathitasma sothi bhavantu te. Buddha sasanang chirang tithatu.
I would now like to invite the Most Venerable Sir from Sri Lanka. Most Venerable Uparatana from Sri Lanka.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear Venerable Mahasangha, Bhikkhuni, Sangha, and ladies and gentlemen, and our organizers, and very happy to participating most of our programs every year, and last 2 years we missing that programs, but this is 17, very young age, sweet 16 is past, but 17 going on. That's wonderful thing, and we are gathering together and starting with the Sutta Desana Anguttara Nikaya. That's wonderful sutra we are always quoting when we are giving the Dhamma talk. So wonderful thing, and starting, beginning, very helpful for the whole world, the peace. And under the Bodhi tree, the Gautama, the Buddha, enlightened. The Buddhist people, they have 4 places very important for their life, and birthplace, enlightenment place, and first sermon, and passing away Kusinagar. There's all that 4 places we are supposed to see before our final day. That is our hope. So now we are very happy, very lucky at the Buddha's enlightened place and the Bodhi tree, come and giving the chanting, Dhamma sermon, and doing more meritorial activities. That's all great, good karma, very helpful to us. For the whole world, we are sharing that merit and doing these meritorial activities for the name of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. The Buddha Dhamma, Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation and IBAA and all other organizations together doing more dedicated work, and Richard and one more Dixie and other people together helping each other. There's a marvelous thing the 17 years continuously they are doing. So very proud, and the Sri Lankan Theravada Sangha very happy to and participate and doing a major part along with other community of the Sangha and Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana all together. And especially this time Vietnamese community very strong, very clear and very dedicated, and we really appreciate their generosity and their great work. And we're very happy we are earning the great Kusala Kamma, and we are sharing that Kusala Kamma. We wish into the whole world to the peace and happiness, and with the power of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Thank you.
I would now like to invite from Cambodia, Fra Yetimuni.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Knyom prakaruna som namaskar ដល់សម្ដេចព្រះមហាសង្ឃនាយកព្រះមហាធេរានុធេរៈព្រះសង្ឃគ្រប់ព្រះអង្គចម្រើនពរដល់ឯកឧត្តមលោកជំទាវអស់លោកស្រីពុទ្ធបរិស័ទទាំងអស់ដែលបានចូលរួមក្នុងពិធីសូត្របត្រៃបិដកជាលក្ខណៈអន្តរជាតិក្នុងមហាពោធិនៃពុទ្ធគយានេះក្នុងថ្ងៃនេះយើងខ្ញុំកោណាអាត្មាភាពក្នុងនាមជាពុទ្ធិកសមាគមព្រះសង្ឃខ្មែរសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកហើយនិងពុទ្ធិកសមាគម ប្រសង្ឃវត្តនៅពុទ្ធគយាហើយនឹងតំណាងគណៈសង្ឃនៃព្រះជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជានឹងចូលរួមក្នុងពិធីនេះនឹងសូត្របត្រៃវិដកហើយសូមត្រេកអរយ៉ាងខ្លាំងក្លាឡើងដល់ការរៀបចំចាត់ចែងនៃពុទ្ធបរិស័ទព្រះសង្ឃវៀតណាមដែលបានចាត់ចែងសូត្របត្រៃវិដកនៅឆ្នាំនេះ Namo Buddhaya, my homage to the Buddha, the Enlightenment One. I would like to pay my respect to Venerable Maha Sangha from all over the world, government officials of all ranks, ITCC members, chief organizers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society in USA, Cambodian Buddhist Monastery Trust in Bodh Gaya, and the Supreme Sangha Councils of Cambodia. I am very humbly honored to be here to represent Cambodia, who will be the next chief organizer of 18th and 19th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. We are delighted for this most auspicious opportunity to be here as participant of ITCC, as well as to be the next chief organizer. It is such a blessing occasion as we are all gathering here from different traditions worldwide and be able to serve the Buddha, to bring the voice of Dhamma back to where it belongs, and a chance to unite all sects of Buddhism around the globe to sit here peacefully. For the good of many, we firmly believe that our Dhamma chanting will set more light and wisdom to the whole world. As Cambodia will be the next chief organizer of International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony, we are very happy and honored, and we will try to our best to work hard, organize and cooperate with all involved committee for the benefit of the Buddha Sasana. We do hope that all organizing committee here and from this year will continue to help us in preparing and managing this event to be a successful one. Finally, we would like to express our sincere thanks to International Tipitaka Chanting Council (ITCC), especially the President Most Venerable Maha Jalong, and also Maha Upasika Wangmo DC, the President of Life of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, for considering and offering us this great opportunity to serve the Dhamma and the land of the Buddha Bodh Gaya. Last but not least, we would like to extend wishes for everyone here. May the light of the Buddha Dhamma shine in your heart forever. May all be well and happy. Namo Dana. Trong buổi lễ Kinh Tam Tạng hôm nay, chư tăng đại diện cho chư tăng Campuchia cùng tôi xin chân thành cảm tạ đến ban tổ chức chương trình đọc Tam Tạng Kinh đặc biệt là trưởng ban tổ chức Ngài Đại Đức Maha Cholang và Upasika Wangmo DC Foundation International đã mang đến cho chúng tôi một cơ hội rất cao quý này để phục vụ giáo pháp về nơi xứ Phật. Trước khi dứt lời, chúng tôi xin kính chúc quý vị đạo hữu cơ mật nơi đây và quý vị Phật tử toàn thế giới luôn luôn tràn đầy ánh hào quang giáo pháp của Đức Phật để soi sáng đời này và đời sau. đến con đường Niết Bàn và đầu mong giáp hát của Đức Phật được hình thành trường tồn trong thế gian này. Sa thu sa thu sa thu.
I would now invite from Indonesia the Most Venerable Chittagutta Mahathera from Indonesia. Who's there?
First of all, thank you very much, Charles, for me to give a small speech or short speech from Indonesia. We arrived from Indonesia just yesterday, only a very short number of group of months. But even so, we just arrived to attend also that the International Tipitaka Chanting. Very sorry, we just follow only today and tomorrow. We cannot follow until finish until 12th of this month. But this program is very good. We attend several times, and also our group of Buddhist people in Indonesia, we also organizing the Tipitaka Chanting in Borobudur since 2015. So for this year, we organized by online, by Zoom. But next year we will organize again and on 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of July. We invite all of you from all over the world, the Venerable Sangha, to join the Tipitaka Chanting in Indonesia at Borobudur, the great temple of Buddhist in we know. Then this International Tipitaka Chanting, successful conducted by the International Organizing Committee, especially the chief organizer from Vietnam. So we join this, we also support this program by attending the program even only 2 days and for tomorrow. But you all can continue until finish until the 12th of this month, until the 13th also join the working together. But I am so sorry, from Indonesia we cannot join until finish. But okay, we also support all of you to do that together for the happiness of all beings. That's a short message for me. May all beings be well and happy. Thank you.
I would now invite the Most Reverend from the Laos PDR International, Venerable Zaizan Wabantwang.
Respect to all Mahasangha. I would like to respect to all Mahathera from different countries and all Bhikkhu Sangha, Bhikkhuni Sangha, Ubasaka and Ubasika, and the chief organizer and who respond our staff who work for the International Tipitaka Chanting. on behalf of Lao International and Lao PDR. Today, we are really happy to attend the 17th International Pitaka Chanting. We are assembled here and together here for the one aim that we will chant the Pitaka. We will keep the meaning of Pitaka. We will keep our Buddha teaching with us always. So the Pitaka chanting more important for us, for our Buddhist monk, because Pitaka is the content of our Buddha teaching. So that for us really keep this one for important for all the people who are follow the Buddha teaching, who are follow the Buddhism. This one not really easy to do if only one country, two country, but now we are all together here. This one is we showing the harmony of us, of our monks from different countries. This one, without harmony, we cannot do anything. We have the harmony and keep the chant to all the outer member, and this one is we happy together and come here for do the same thing. So for us, we are very happy to join the Pitaka chanting for this year also. Next year for the Cambodian side will be chief organizer. This one also we really happy to for this year because this year our chief organizer is Vietnam. They decorate very well and good decoration and good more response about this thing. So from Laos side, we very happy and really enjoy with all the members here, and we thanks to all organizer and who respond for the ceremony, and thank you for all the members from every country, and we hope we will enjoy with our Pitaka chanting and sharing peaceful to all the world, and thank you. Sadhu, sadhu.
I would now invite the Most Venerable from Nepal. Most Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhisena from Nepal.
आज यहाँ जितने भी देश विदेश का भिक्षु लोग, उपासक, उपासिका उपस्थित हुए हैं, उन सबको पहला मेरा आंतरिक हृदय से शुभाशीर्वाद दे रहा हूँ।
Most Venerable Mahasangha, on behalf of Nepali Sangha, our Most Venerable wants to share his warm greetings and wishes for all the organizers and entire team.
Mano pubbangama dhamma mano settha manomaya. ये भगवान बुद्ध का पवित्र बुद्ध वचन है। यदि हम लोगों ने इस एक वचन को आंतरिक हृदय से देखा तो मालूम पड़ेगा कि सबसे बड़ा धर्म क्या है, वह है अपने मन को पहचानना, मन को जानना।
According to the Dhammapada text, Buddha profound and mentioned about the Manopubbangama Dhamma. The mind is the most important and forward one. If we realize and practice according to this stanza, we can realize the real Dhamma experience in our life.
मनोपुब्बंगमा धम्मा ये शब्द मैंने क्यों कहा? मेरे सामने उपस्थित हैं उपासिका वांगमो दीक्षित। वांगमो दीक्षित से मैंने प्रश्न किया था, आपने ये चैंटिंग थेरवाद का चैंटिंग क्यों कर रहा है? तो उन्होंने जवाब दिया था, मेरा पिता ने कहा है कि थेरवाद का जितने भी भिक्षु हैं वो सब भिक्षुओं को बुलाकर चैंटिंग करना। उनका पिता का पहला मन में उत्पन्न हुआ ये शब्द, तो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि उस शब्द में आज कितना फायदा हो रहा है। आप लोग देखिए तो कितना देश विदेश से भिक्षु लोग आ रहे हैं, कितना देश विदेश से उपासक उपासिका आ रहे हैं। मन में पहले बार अच्छा बात उत्पन्न हुआ, इसलिए आज वांगमो दीक्षित उपासिका ने ये कार्यक्रम के शुरुआत किया था। लेकिन अब मैंने देखा कि 10 राष्ट्र का भिक्षुओं ने आज सहभागी हो रहे हैं। वो क्या है? एक मन में अच्छा बात उत्पन्न होने के कारण ही आज हम लोग सब एकत्रित हो पा सके हैं।
Today we all are gathering in this auspicious occasion. That why I mentioned about the Manopubbangama Dhamma. The mind is a frontliner. According to our master's explanation, Mahaupasika Wangmo Ditchi herself, she is a true Buddhist practitioner and followers. Not only Buddha's practitioner and followers, she is also the follower of her father's instruction. So she obey and truly respect by heart about her father's instruction, and because of his father's instruction, oneself she leading this organization, and after she lead this organization, so now more than 10 nations, the Sangha members, the Buddhist followers, we got opportunity to gather in this August gathering. So we really appreciate and gratitude for her respected father and also for Mahaupasika Wangmo Dikshit for her entire contribution for the Buddha Shasana.
इसके पहले भी मैं बहुत बार आ चुका, लेकिन मेरे स्वास्थ्य खराब होने के कारण बीच में आ नहीं सका। तो भी जब यहाँ चैंटिंग का आवाज़ मैं सुनता हूँ हो रहा है, तो मन में बहुत आनंद आता था। ओह, बहुत अच्छा हुआ, बहुत अच्छा हुआ, क्योंकि ऐसा कार्यक्रम हर साल होना चाहिए। चिरं तिष्ठत सद्धम्मो लोको होतु सुखी सदा। यदि हम लोगों ने बुद्ध धर्म को चिरस्थायी कर रखना है तो क्या करना चाहिए? चैंटिंग करना चाहिए। चैंटिंग करने के साथ साथ ही उन भगवान बुद्ध ने उस त्रिपिटक के अंदर जो वाक्य दिया हुआ है ना, उसको अनुकरण करना भी हम लोग के लिए परम कर्तव्य है।
According to our master saying that I had been several times attend this type of Tripitaka chanting before also. So this year also you are organizing in such a huge and such a spiritual way. So it gives us the spiritual vibration to not only for us, for the all humankind. So if we truly follow and recite this type of Tripitaka chanting, then we can preserve, promote the Buddha's real teaching, the true teaching. May the Buddha Shasana prevail in the earth.
इसलिए आज इस मंगल कार्यक्रम को शुभाशीर्वाद देते हुए भवतु सब मंगलम कह के आज का मेरा छोटा 2 वचन ही समाप्त करना चाहता हूँ।
By the inside heart, Venerable wants to wishing and blessing, may the Tripitaka chanting be grand success, may you all be free from suffering, and at the end and concluding his blessing with Bhavatu Sabba Mangalam.
I would now like to invite from India, the Venerable Bhikkhu Pragyadeep.
इस बार का जो चांटिंग है वो मिलिंद प्रश्न है और इतना सुंदर है ये मिलिंद प्रश्न कि अगर हम इसे ठीक से करें तो हो सकता है कि हमें भी निब्बान की प्राप्ति हो जाए। गंगा किनारा है, हजारों भिक्षु लोग झाड़ू लेकर करके सुबह सुबह अपने बिहारों की सफाई कर रहे हैं और बिहारों की सफाई करते हुए भी उसमें एक भिक्षु ऐसा है कि वो बिहार की सफाई तो कर रहा है लेकिन एक जगह वो कचरा रख रहा है। लेकिन दूसरे जो भिक्षु हैं वो देखते हैं अरे बिहार की सफाई तो कर रहा है लेकिन यह एक जगह कचरा इकट्ठा कर रहा है। सीनियर भिक्षु ने कहा कि तुम जो कचरा इकट्ठा कर रहे हो उस कचरे को तुम बाहर फेंक दो। लेकिन छोटे श्रामणेरा ने उसने जो है अनसुना कर दिया। पहली बार बोला, दूसरी बार बोला, तीसरी बार बोला, तीसरी बार भी बोलने पर भी अनसुना कर दिया। जब उन्होंने अनसुना किया तो बड़े भिक्षु ने एक झाड़ू मारा, उसे लाठी से मारा। जो लाठी से मारा तो उसके बाद उसे बड़ा दुख हुआ। लेकिन फिर भी जो बड़े भिक्षु का आदेश था उसने सब कूड़े को इकट्ठा करके गया छोड़ने के लिए। उसे मस्जिद में सन था, वो दोपहर का जो आपको धूप थी, तेज धूप थी, उस तेज धूप को देख करके उसने संकल्प लिया मैं जहाँ जहाँ भी जन्म लूँ, मैं जहाँ जहाँ भी जन्म लूँ, मैं इसी तेज के समान हमारा जो तेज हो, अब मैं विद्वान हूँ। और फिर उसने वो नहाने गया। जब नहाने गया तो वहाँ भी देखा कि उर्मी वेग है, बड़ी तेज वेग है गंगा का। उसने संकल्प किया जैसे ये तेज वेग है हमारा भी महान तेज वेग होगा और हमसे कोई जीत ना पावे। दूसरे जो सीनियर भिक्षु थे वो भी गया वहाँ पर। जब वहाँ पर जो गया देखा अरे हमसे ये छोटा भिक्षु जिसको मैंने झाड़ू से मारा और जो है कूड़ा फेंकने के लिए, तो ये ऐसा संकल्प कर रहा है। उन्होंने संकल्प लिया ये जहाँ जहाँ भी जन्म ले मैं भी वहाँ वहाँ भी जन्म लूँ निब्बान प्राप्ति तक। और जो जो ये प्रश्न करे उस प्रश्नों का मैं अच्छे ढंग से जवाब दूँ। बात इतनी थी, इसी से सुंदर ग्रंथ की रचना हो गई। अब वो सुंदर ग्रंथ की रचना क्या हुई? मिलिंद पहियों हो गई। मिलिंद पहियों का एक एक शब्द जो है हमें जो है पूरा झंकार देता है। ऐसा ऐसा शब्द है कि वो शब्द को सुनकर करके आप दिन रात सोचते रहेंगे, आपका चित्त जो है प्रशुद्ध होगा। धन्यवाद। इस बार जो है बहुत ही प्रसन्न है आप सबको पा करके। इस बार जो है 2 साल करीब हुए हैं, 2 साल से बिल्कुल जो है आपको लोग नहीं आ रहे थे, लेकिन इस बार जो है काफ़ी संख्या में लोग आए हैं, सब उत्साह से भरे हुए हैं। मिलिंद पहियों का पाठ होगा, उसके लिए काफ़ी लोगों ने खर्चा किया है और इसके लिए सभी जो देश के जो लोग हैं, वियतनाम है, थाईलैंड है, म्यांमार है, वो बांग्लादेश है, कंबोडिया है, श्रीलंका, नेपाल है, इंडिया, BTMC ऑफिशियल, LDF स्पॉन्सर, सब जो है बोधी ट्री जो है आपको सबको आशीर्वाद दे रहा। बोधी ट्री इज वेरी वेरी प्लेजेंट इन दिस ईयर एंड ही इज गिविंग ब्लेसिंग टू ऑल। बाय दिस वर्ड आई वांट टू फिनिश।
I would now like to invite the General Secretary of the International Buddhist Confederation, the Most Venerable Dhammapiya.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang saranang gacchami dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami. Venerable members of Mahasangha, Upasakas, Upasikas, brothers, sisters and friends in Dhamma, it is really a very beautiful afternoon or evening today. We all are here under this sacred Bodhi tree. It is all about harmony and responsibility. The Buddha has said, Sangassa samaghi samaghanang tapo sukho. When there is harmony in the Sangha, and when we undertake anything in harmony, there is definitely will be success and great achievement. And when we come together like this, the members of Mahasangha, members of Upasaka Sangha, Upasika Sangha together, when we work harmoniously, we can transform the society, we can transform humanity, we can transform the world. That is why we as Buddhists take up the responsibility of our own actions, that whatever we do, we do not cause any damage and harm in our relation to other human beings, in our relation to nature, in our relation to the environment, and let us take the responsibility to protect the environment, to protect the nature, the pure nature given to us. Dhamma is nothing but purification, transformation, elevation, and transcending from the defiling world. Today, I'm very happy to be part of this international Tipitaka Chanting program here, the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting, on behalf of International Tipitaka Chanting Council and on behalf of International Buddhist Confederation. I would like to take this opportunity to wish all of you a very happy, great stay here in India, and hope this responsibility to take up one after the other. This year, Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha. Next year, I was given to understand Cambodia Buddhist Sangha. That's how we take responsibility to continue the chanting ceremony here. Thank you so much, everyone.
I would now like to invite Ms. Wang Mudixi, the President of the Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, to please convey the blessings of her father, the Most Reverend Tarthang Tulku Rinpoche.
This message is from my father, Venerable Tarthang Rinpoche, Venerable members of the Mahasangha, generous supporters and honored guests, with folded hands, I thank you for your participation in the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. I am so glad that you continue to join in this remarkable gathering, traveling both ancient pathways and modern roads to pay homage to the great Jinnah at the site of enlightenment, in the land of Arya Desh, the holiest place in all of Jambudvipa. Even as the world faces serious challenges, the diamond seat has endured. Its radiant light still shines. Despite the sorrow that our time knows all too well, the blessings of this Vajrasana are still available to sentient beings. Now, more than ever, it is our task to share them with the world. According to the records kept by the Theravadins, it has been nearly 2,600 years since the Enlightened One first guided the Sangha, illuminating the path leading to peace beyond the encircling chains of karma and klesha. Since then, the faithful in many lands have sought to preserve and transmit the Buddha's teachings, caring for this matchless treasure of knowledge. Every one of us is part of this enormous selfless effort to understand, to embody, and to share these teachings. It is an effort that spans millennia, embracing the beings of the three times. It unites us with the great ones who came before us and whose footsteps we walk today. And it forges a bond with the future, whose children will one day, with our help, become part of the Mahasangha. As we know well, these treasures were almost completely lost in the lands where they were first shared with sentient beings. In the tumult of history and its many changes, the Vajrasana itself nearly disappeared from human knowledge. Now it is our great good fortune to witness the rekindling of the light of Dharma in the great motherland of India. From the rebuilding of the great temple in 1880 and the passing of the Bodh Gaya Temple Act of 1949, from the early efforts at restoration to the growing recognition of the awesome importance of the Vajrasana, the people of India have led the way. With the great conversions of Bodhisattva Dr. Ambedkar, a new generation of Indian Buddhists emerged in the center of Arya Desh. And now traditional communities are awakening all over the country. In Bodh Gaya, a new chapter began when in 1989 the first Nyingma Monlam Chenmo was held to honor the great Bodhimanda. And in 2002, the Mahabodhi Temple was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then in 2006, just as the rising sun fills the sky with light, the first international Tipitaka chanting ceremony brought the Sanghas of a dozen Theravadan countries to unite beneath the Bodhi tree, a gathering that has not taken place in 700 years. Today, the Venerable Sangha and its lay supporters come from all over the world to pay respect at Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, and other great holy places, making meritorious offerings of prayer for the benefit of all. This wonderful rebirth is a marvel of our times, and it is all thanks to the deep commitment of the faithful and their steadfast supporters here in India and in all the lands where the Dharma is upheld. At this crucial moment in our own human history, it seems that more and more sentient beings are coming to profoundly understand the first noble truth. We ache for their suffering. Now the Sangha has a uniquely important role to play, for it is your blessing that has the power to ease the burden the world carries, to bring peace and healing to these grieving hearts. We can clearly see that the power of the Buddha Dharma to provide this healing depends upon the dedication of the revered elders who honor this gathering with their presence, and the monks and nuns and lay supporters who cherish their matchless example. Precious Mahasangha, your conduct serves as an inspiration to us all. At this time, it is my pleasure to thank from the bottom of my heart the Vietnamese Sangha, who have graciously and capably organized this year's ceremony, ensuring that this whole vast assembly can carry out its sacred purpose in comfort and safety. I would also like to thank the International Tipitaka Chanting Council, as well as all the patrons, the supporters, and friends of Dharma who've made this event possible year after year, including my daughter, Wang Mo, and her son-in-law, Richard. Finally, I wish to express my deep appreciation to the government of India, whose leaders at the highest level have set a world standard for the support of Buddhist study, practice, veneration, and pilgrimage, crucial forms of religious expression. Here in Bihar, compassionate and far-sighted leadership has encouraged a joyful living engagement with the Dharma that strengthens the Mahasangha and enriches the daily lives of the local people. Although circumstances prevent me from being by your side, know that I rejoice in your great undertaking as your voices carry the holy teachings, spreading their blessings in ever-widening ripples across our world. With you in my heart, I pray for a happy, wholesome, healthy, and prosperous India, for a path to peace for our planet, and for an ever-growing Sangha to spread its wings all over Jambudvipa. As a young Tibetan refugee, I once stood before the Vajrasana and prayed for its restoration with nothing but a strength of my body to offer to the Triple Gem. I made prostrations before the Mahabodhi. Now I am older, and it seems I have little of value to give but my faith. Yet I am certain that our unshakable faith is the greatest treasure we have, and one we are bound to share in all our prayers and gestures of goodness. May the International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony be a vehicle of that goodness for now and always. And may your sacred recitation bring peace, joy, and awakening to all sentient beings. Yours faithfully, Sarvam Mangalam, Venerable Tartang Kunga Gelek. Thank you.
Đây là bài diễn văn khai mạc của Ngài Đại Đức Rinpoche Thatang, được truyền qua lời đọc của con gái của Ngài là cô Wang Mo. Ngài là người sáng lập ra tổ chức Ánh sáng Phật giáo thế giới. Con xin được tóm tắt lại những ý chính của bài phát biểu này. Kính thưa các chư vị, chư tăng, chư ni, các quý vị đại biểu, tay trong tay chúng ta hôm nay lại có mặt trong sự kiện Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng Kinh Điển lần thứ 17. Tôi rất vinh dự được tiếp tục tham dự vào hành trình tuyệt vời này. Ngay tại đây, dưới cội cây Bồ Đề, thế giới đã trải qua đại nạn Covid và chúng ta lại cùng nhau ngồi đây để tiếp tục thắp ngọn nến tuyệt vời này. Theo như kinh điển, kinh văn được lưu giữ bởi truyền thống Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy từ 2.600 năm trước đây, ánh sáng này đã được Đức Phật thắp chiếu và dẫn chúng ta đi trên con đường của hòa bình, thoát khỏi vòng luân hồi sanh tử của các nghiệp bất thiện. Và ngay tại đây, trên mảnh đất này, nơi mà giáo pháp của Đức Phật được bắt đầu và truyền đi khắp nơi trên thế giới, chúng ta thật may mắn được có mặt tiếp tục con đường này. Đây là sự tiếp nối của việc thánh tích Bồ Đề Đạo Tràng đã được tìm thấy và xây dựng lại. Cội Bồ Đề được bảo tồn là minh chứng lịch sử cho sự trường tồn của giáo pháp của Đức Phật. Chúng con rất vinh hạnh cùng nhau tiếp tục thắp lên ngọn nến của giáo pháp, ngọn đèn của giáo pháp. Và tại cái thời điểm quan trọng này, chúng ta cần phải hiểu rất sâu sắc tứ thánh đế, con đường dẫn tới đoạn tiệt khổ đau. Và bây giờ thực sự việc mà chúng ta đang làm ở đây đã đóng một vai trò rất quan trọng trên con đường xiển dương của giáo pháp Đức Phật. Chúng tôi xin gửi lời cảm ơn sâu sắc đến chư Tăng Việt Nam với sự nỗ lực vô song đã làm nên sự thành công của Đại lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng Kinh điển lần thứ 17. Tôi cảm nhận rằng tuổi đã cao, cho nên tôi muốn trao truyền cái sứ mệnh này cho con gái tôi, bà Quảng Mô. Con rể tôi, ông Richard, sẽ tiếp tục thay mặt tôi có thể tiếp tục soi sáng cái con đường mà tôi đã đặt nền móng. Mặc dù rất nhiều thứ đã xảy ra cho thế giới và cho tất cả chúng ta, nhưng hôm nay chúng ta lại cùng hoan hỉ, cùng nhau ở đây thực tập giáo pháp giải thoát của Đức Phật. Tôi muốn cầu cho sự hạnh phúc, sự đủ đầy, sức khỏe và sự thành công cho Ấn Độ, cho tất cả các nước, các bạn và cho toàn thế giới. Như với vai trò là một người refugee. So your father was a refugee when Tipitaka? Như là người đã đi khỏi Tây Tạng, cái người mà bỏ quốc gia đi á, tự nhiên con quên cái từ tiếng Việt là gì, và đã thực hành cái giáo pháp Kim Cương Thừa. Nhưng tôi rất kính trọng Tam Tạng Kinh điển của truyền thống Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy và thực sự cầu mong cho sự tái tạo lại các thánh tích, tiếp bước xiển dương kinh văn của Đức Phật và cúng dường lên Tam Bảo đặc biệt muốn quỳ lạy trước bảo tháp Mahabodhi, bởi vì rằng con đã già, con không làm được chuyện đấy, nhưng con gái của con sẽ thay mặt con. Và cuối cùng cầu mong kính mong cho đại lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng lần thứ 17 được thành công tốt đẹp.
I would now like to invite the Director General of the International Buddhist Confederation, New Delhi, Mr. Abhijit Haldar.
Namo Buddhaya. Good evening to all of you. The most venerable members of the Sangha who are present here from different countries, as well as friends from the larger Buddhist community who are present here. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor for me and of course my Secretary General, Venerable Dr. Dhammapaya, who just spoke a while back, to be present here on this very auspicious occasion. I think we are all blessed to be present at this spot today under the Bodhi tree, the heart, the core and the soul of Buddhism, where the Buddha attained enlightenment. And I think we should thank the organizers, Wang Modixi and Richard, and of course the Vietnamese Sangha for organizing this wonderful event. His Excellency, the former president who was here, has also been very instrumental in supporting the International Buddhist Confederation. In fact, in 2020 and 2021, both the years, when the COVID was rampant all across, he gave us space in the President's house, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, to organize the Asad event. And that is when the sapling of the Bodhi tree was planted. As far as the IBC is concerned, it is a global Buddhist organization based in New Delhi. The aim of IBC is to engage the Buddhist Sanghas, monastic organizations, lay communities, various institutions dealing with Buddhism, academicians, as well as scholars, to share and discuss their work with us so that all of us are on a common platform with a common wisdom, so that we are able to speak in a single voice. And this is our motto. Actually, the motto of the International Buddhist Confederation is common wisdom, united voice. So we exist for this purpose. The activities we indulge in involves engaging, as I mentioned, various international Buddhist organizations at the Sangha level, at the academic level, at the monastic level. We do have exchange of delegations. We also participate in several seminars, discourses on various topics. In August this year, we were in Thailand propagating Buddhist tourism. In October, we were in Bhutan attending the International Vajrayana Conference with a very powerful delegation of 20 members, including prominent academics and scholars.
one of the areas where we intend focusing in the coming years is to carry the holy relic of the Buddha to different countries. We carried the holy relic of the Buddha in June this year to Mongolia, and I was part of the delegation, and I was surprised with the nature of welcome which we got there in Mongolia. There were 15,000 people who were every day coming to the relic to pay their obeisance, to pay their regard. A wonderful experience, and we intend to carry the relic of the Buddha to other countries in the coming years, possibly Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Korea. So we have a long list, and I can assure you that you will see the relic coming to your country. And the relic, as you all know, is as good as the Buddha coming into your country. So we'll work on this. Another important project which I must mention to you here is construction of a monastic center or an India International Center for Buddhist Heritage and Culture at the birthplace of the Buddha, which is Lumbini. So we have a project coming up in Lumbini. The preliminary work has been completed. Most likely in January or February 2023, the construction of the project will come up. And with this project, we anticipate to be complete in about 18 to 20 months. I think it will be a great contribution on behalf of India to the birthplace of the Buddha. And we are very grateful to the government of India actually to hand over this project to the IBC. It's a very challenging project. It's a project of national pride, and our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, in fact laid the foundation stone of the project in May this year. So we look forward to your support. Even your blessings will do a lot. As far as India is concerned, the IBC focuses mainly on promoting, preserving, and creating new ideas about the Buddhist heritage of India. We have been working on it with the central government at different levels to advise them on how to improve the infrastructure in Bodh Gaya, in Sarnath, in the other places where all of you visit. And hopefully there will be an improved situation as far as infrastructure is concerned. We also work very closely with the government of Bihar and the government of UP to advise and guide them on how things could be made better for all of you to come here. And this is an area where I must say that there has been tremendous contribution by the Light of the Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, Wangmo Dikshi, Richard, and the team. I often wonder that sitting thousands of miles away from India, how are they able to coordinate, plan, and execute such a fantastic program? How are they able to create a situation like this as we see here today, right now, at this point of time? It is really amazing. And I think this happens with people who are blessed. I sincerely think the hand of the Buddha is with Wangmo Dikshi and Richard for being able to achieve this success. I also take this opportunity to thank the Vietnamese Sangha for a wonderful job as far as the Tipitaka Chanting is concerned, and congratulate the Cambodian side. Look forward to carrying on the tradition. Thank you very much. Thanks.
We have our keynote speech now, and for this I would like to invite Venerable Ajahn Amaro.
25 minutes, okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So, like our previous many speakers, I'm deeply honored and delighted to be here under the Sri Mahabodhi tree at the seat of enlightenment, the Vajra Asana, on this extremely auspicious occasion. I've been very grateful to be part of a number of these gatherings in the past, and was very glad that the COVID pandemic having abated somewhat, that we are all able to gather again in person rather than seeing each other through computer screens. That's good enough, but it's nothing quite like meeting together. Many of us have paid our respects to the visiting elders. I also would like to express my gratitude to be amongst the most venerable speakers and leaders of the Mahasangha, monastic community, and all the distinguished guests, daughters and sons of the Buddha, as we all are, come from many parts of the world, many different origins. I'm extremely glad that this occasion is brought together through the genius of Wang Mo and her team. She's been highly praised, but I think suitably praised for her great skill, and her father, Tartang Tulku, as the initiator, the one who had the seed of the idea of such gatherings, so I pay my respects to him. By coincidence, the very first Dhamma talk I gave about 44 years ago was a commentary on one of his books. I've been a bhikkhu for about 2 weeks. So I drew upon a written teaching from the Venerable Tartang Tulku from the gesture of balance. So I feel a close connection with this group and with Wang Mo and her father and this community. The land of India is the motherland of Buddha Dhamma, as we all know. And I feel it's of extreme importance, great significance, that we gather here, and particularly for this purpose of reciting the words of the Lord Buddha's teaching, to bring those words to mind and to draw them into full consciousness, full awareness for all of us. Many of us as Sangha members, as lay people, we have many duties, many responsibilities, many things that we occupy our lives with, looking after our temples, looking after our community, looking after our families, our businesses, and the many and various responsibilities that we have. And sometimes we can forget that right at the very core of it is the enlightened mind of the Lord Buddha and the words that came forth from the Lord Buddha to explain his understanding for the benefit of all sentient beings. So coming here, gathering from all around the world to help to recollect the Lord Buddha's teachings, to bring them to mind, to clarify them, and to put them right at the very center of our attention. On reflecting about this, I feel it's like the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren coming from all around the world to help look after the grandparents, great-grandparents, your origin, your source, to come and help look after them, and also to do what you can to respect, to honor, and to protect out of love and out of gratitude, as in Pali, katanyu kataveti, the quality of gratitude, so grateful and amazed that the Lord Buddha's teaching still exists in the world, how grateful we are that this teaching, the Dhamma Vinaya, is still alive and so relevant in our lives. And also Kataveti, that what can we do to respond to that feeling of gratitude? We step up to help out, just as we would help out our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our families, or in the monastic community, stepping up to help your elders who've been our preceptors, our teachers, to do what we can to help them in their age, their years of agedness and less capacity to be able to do and to take responsibility within the family. Naturally, we step up to do what we can to help. And I feel this is a very beautiful gesture, not just the Sangha from India, but also from all around the world coming together to help, look after the source. A few days ago, I was visiting Adi Badri up in Haryana, just on the border of HP, an ancient Buddhist site. And near there is what is I understand to be the source of the river Saraswati. It's just a little spring in the hillside, but the people have found it, they've excavated the area, tidied it up, put a fence around it, made it all kind of clean and tidy and purified, like looking after the source of the great river. And I felt this is very much what we're doing, gathering together to recollect the Dhamma teachings and to protect and nourish and do what we can to help preserve the purity and the blessed quality of that source. I feel it's also understood by many of us the importance of recollecting the words of the Buddha and to recite these teachings, but also in coming together to remember these teachings, I feel a debt of gratitude, that same Kataveti, for the group of Sangha members who gathered together in the Aloka Vihara in Sri Lanka more than 2,000 years ago, that were the first group of Sangha members to write the scriptures down, according to my understanding of the history. That up to that time, the Pali teachings were always transmitted by rote learning. They weren't written down, but because of a time of war and famine, then there came the encouragement, the directive from the king to say, please write the Tipitaka down, because otherwise it'll be lost. People are dying. No one can. The famine is causing so many people to be disabled, unable to function properly. We need to get this down, otherwise it will be lost. And I had the good chance just before I came to Buddha Gaya in 2019. I was in Sri Lanka and I had the great good fortune to visit the Aloka Vihara, and I felt this very strong sense of appreciation, gratitude for the task it took. And writing was a rare skill in those days. And to write the whole Tripitaka down while there was a famine and a war going on, to remember it, to put it all down on the Ola leaf manuscripts, and then to pass it on for future generations. And none of those monks who were inscribing the teachings in those caves of light, the Aloka Vihara, none of them knew whether it was going to survive. It was something like a message in a bottle. Just, we're putting this down, we hope this is going to survive for future generations, we'll do our best. And that spirit of preservation and respect for the teachings, I feel, is very much present here in these gatherings, this 17th of the annual gatherings of the Tipitaka Recitation Council. Also, it's interesting that the Lord Buddha used a simile when he was talking about the preservation of the teaching. He said, if you have a dish or a tray of flowers and they're all loose, if the tray is shaken or wind comes along, then the flowers are easily scattered to the wind. They break up, and all the beautiful flowers are separated and lost. But if the flowers are strung together with a thread, as a garland, as a mala, then those flowers will stay together, they will retain their beauty. And the word, as I'm sure many of my venerable companions will know, the word for a thread is sutta or sutra. The English word suture for sewing up after an injury, it comes from the same root. So the verbal teachings of the Buddha, I would say, are very much that thread. If we apply that thread in a skillful way, then we will be able to, by holding the teachings together, we preserve the beauty of the flowers of Dhamma in a very well integrated and well coordinated way, and a way that can be handed on easily for future generations. As I recall it, the original usage of that image by the Lord Buddha was when he was talking about the eras of previous Buddhas. He was asked, why was it that the sasana in the eras of some previous Buddhas lasted a short time, and why in the eras of other previous Buddhas it lasted a long time? And he said in the era of some of the previous Buddhas, they didn't establish a Patimokkha discipline. They didn't establish the Vinaya. They gave many Dhamma teachings, but the Vinaya was not spelled out. There was no training in Patimokkha, and without that uniting force, that coordinating force of the Vinaya discipline, then the sasana did not last long. So I feel also that it's very important that along with the sutta teachings, that the Vinaya teachings are also recollected, and I'm not sure of the plans for the Light of Dhamma for the future years, with the Cambodian community leading the recitations and these programs in the next 2 years. I suspect that the Vinaya Pitaka comes next. If I see Wanglo is nodding, very good. So that I feel this is extremely helpful, that we are reciting the Vinaya Pitaka and recognizing that, as the Lord Buddha said, Vinayo sasana ayu. Vinaya is the longevity of the sasana, the religion. Without the Vinaya, things get scattered very, very easily, very quickly. So I'm very glad that will be the next part of the program. Also, in another aspect of these gatherings that I feel is very important and very valuable is, as we recite these teachings, we're also studying the meaning and then also applying the teachings. Many years ago, my teacher, Venerable Ajahn Sumedho, gave a very memorable simile. He said, oftentimes we relate to the teachings, the Dhamma, the Vinaya, the Tipitaka, or the words spoken words of a great elder, and we revere them very much. We have a lot of say, enthusiasm, and we're inspired. Wow, that's so good, that's so interesting, that's so helpful. And then we don't follow the advice. We're impressed by the words, but we don't actually do what the teacher is encouraging. He said it's rather like if you're locked in a prison cell, if you're locked up in jail, and the Lord Buddha comes to your prison cell and says, here's the key. Just take this key and then put it in the lock, turn it, and you'll escape from the prison of avijja, the prison of ignorance. And then you think, oh my goodness, the Lord Buddha's come and given me the key. Fantastic. He says, then you make a little shelf, you put the key up on the shelf, you start bowing to the key, and you think, oh, this is the wonderful key, this is so helpful, this is so marvelous, this is the key to liberation. And you put great sincerity into worshipping it, but you never get around to putting it in the lock and turning it. So I also feel it's very valuable gathering together as we do in these ways, listening to the teaching and appreciating each other's supportive company, that reciting the teachings, studying the meaning of the teachings, we then sincerely take them with us and apply them in our lives moment to moment, that this is something we can all do, and this is what would please the teacher. I'm sure many of you either are teachers or can remember being in a class, and what pleases a teacher, whether it's a Dhamma teacher or a school teacher, a university teacher, what pleases the teacher most is when the student actually listens to what the teacher is saying and follows the teacher's advice. So giving praise to the teacher or offering flowers to the teacher or an apple for the teacher is one thing, but actually doing what the teacher encourages us is something that is most pleasing, most delightful. Also earlier today, one of my venerable earlier speakers, he was reciting, I think the very first one, was reciting the final words of the Lord Buddha, Apamadena sampadeta, Vayadama sankara apamadena sampadeta. All conditioned things are subject to decay. Strive on with diligence. Apamadena, with mindfulness, with heedfulness, carry on, work hard. So in the Buddha's very last breath, his very last words, he is helping others. He is giving instruction. He's still teaching right at the very, very end of his time of speaking. And that I feel is in the best way to honor the Lord Buddha's intention, his effort, his sincerity to teach is to take that teacher's instruction to heart, to take the key, put it in the lock, and to let ourselves out of our prison cell. The part of the theme of this gathering here in Bodh Gaya under the Sri Mahabodhi tree is the theme of peace, world peace, and the contribution that we can make to world peace. I was very honored to be invited to speak to the UN on Visakha Puja Day, the UN based in Geneva, the Geneva branch. And the people who are organizing this event said, you know, the only religious event that is recognized and held every year by the United Nations is Visakha Puja. And I said, really? They said, yes, no other religious event is sponsored and maintained by the UN each year. And I said, well, how come we Buddhists get special treatment? And they said, because I think about 20 years ago, they passed a UN resolution to respect and to honor Buddhism's unique contribution to world peace. And so Visakha Puja, the full moon of May, is part of the UN calendar. So I just share that with you in case you weren't aware, but I felt that was a wonderful recognition of this unique role that Buddhism has. The goal of our practice, certainly very clearly in the southern Buddhist world, in the Theravada countries, is the realization of Nibbana. Nibbana means, it can be translated in a number of ways, but my preceptor and teacher, Venerable Ajahn Chah, when he was asked to define what is Nibbana, he said, Nibbana is the reality of non-grasping. So oftentimes when we think of Nibbana, the mind creates a kind of an idea of a super heavenly world or some kind of special realm where the enlightened ones go and have some kind of transcendent state of being, or they or have a more philosophical understanding of, well, it's going out of the realm of the possibilities of description, quite technical or intellectual. But I felt that Venerable Ajahn Chah's description is very much more sort of down home, close to our hearts. It's what happens when we don't grasp, when we are not clinging and grasping, then peace is what we experience. In terms of world peace, and peace in our families, peace in our monasteries, peace in our workplace, peace on the street, negotiating with the street life in Bodh Gaya and in India generally. It's our capacity, I would say, to not cling to your opinion, your fixed view, like, I'm going that way. Well, if a rickshaw comes across you with 10 lengths of rebar on that across the handlebars, you take a right. You get out of the way. So the more that we can listen to each other, when we have meetings, we have discussions on a family level, a social level, a national level. If we are ready to listen with respect, with sincerity, to not cling to our fixed views and our fixed opinions, we're able then to find a way to collaborate with each other, to work in a way that is as a unitive, that is collaborative, rather than divisive. As long as I'm sure that I'm right and you're wrong, there's definitely going to be conflict. If I can listen to you and I can hear that and say, oh, good point, or I never thought of that, or like, yes, I can see why it would appear that way to you. Thank you for sharing. If there's that quality of non-grasping of our own opinions, our habits, our familiar perceptions, then we have a chance of genuine peace. If we don't respect each other, if we are just attached to our own fixed view, our own rigid opinions, then necessarily there will be conflict between us. In this respect, I like to think that, thank you, just as we have many, many nationalities, and we have invited in the sequence the Vietnamese community, the community from Nepal, from India, from Thailand, from Cambodia, from many different countries. We all have our nationalities. I'm British by birth. I also have an American passport. But like all of us, we are daughters and sons of the Buddha. We are Sakyaputta, Sakyadita. Within the Buddhist family, there is only us. Our nationalities, our individual, say, conditioning dissolves in being children of the Buddha. And I would say that when we look beyond the sphere of the Buddhist world to the greater world of the rest of the human population and all sentient beings, then similarly, there isn't any other. It's all us. And as was mentioned about the dedication that we can have to caring for our human community, I feel caring for the whole ecosystem, seeing the whole ecosystem as us too, not just the people or the animals, but also the ground we stand on, the trees and the grasses, the insects around us. It's all us. And if we see things in that spirit, we really take to heart that sense of all sentient beings are worthy of our love, our respect, and our kindness, then if that's genuine, then peace can genuinely be established in a profound and consistent way. The last thing I'd like to share with us all is the Lord Buddha praised very highly in his list of the causes of welfare, well-being for the community. Number one on the list of the Aparihaniya Dhammas, the 7 causes of welfare, number one on the list is to meet together frequently and in large numbers. And you say, sometimes people wonder about that. Say, oh, I thought that the Buddha was into solitude and quietness and meditation. Why would he put number one on the list, meet together frequently and in large numbers? It's the cause of welfare, well-being. And I feel it's because when we are all together, we can recognize our shared humanity, our shared interests, our shared values. When we are apart from each other, then we can form opinions and rigid views about that lot over on the other side of the river, those people on the other side of the mountain range, those people across the ocean, that lot over there. And growing up in England, we are very good at making those kind of divisions. I was born in Kent, so I'm a man of Kent, not a Kentish man. There's a line through the middle of Kent that you're born one side of the river, you're a man of Kent or a maid of Kent. If you're born east of the River Medway, then you're so west of the River Medway, then you're a Kentish man or a maid, a Kentish maid. So we easily divide from each other when we don't meet, when we don't appreciate each other. So the Lord Buddha's insight into meeting together frequently and in large numbers is a way of cultivating that quality of respect for each other and a sense of appreciation that it is just us. There isn't that lot, those people. I know what those people are like. But to say, oh, they're just like us. We're all the same. The second of those Aparihaniya Dhammas was to meet in concord, to conduct our business in concord, and to separate in concord. And so I feel that we're opening this 17th annual recitation ceremony for the International Tipitaka Chanting group, and that we're certainly meeting in Concord, and I sincerely hope that over the next days then we will continue to work together in Concord, joining our voices together, different accents, different pronunciation of the same Pali. That can sometimes be a challenge, but we can do it. To join our voices harmoniously together, and then I'm sure that when things come to a close, we will separate in Concord also. So I offer these words for consideration, and once again to express my appreciation for all of the organizers and the effort everyone has made to come together, particularly the Vietnamese community for their generous sponsorship and beautiful arrangements, and for Wang Mo and the whole team, and for the ITCC group to bring it all together. Sadhu, good indeed.
As we have all assembled here this afternoon for the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony, and as we now near to the conclusion, we will now have the recitation of the Dhammachakra Pavatana Sutra by the Venerable Mahasangha assembled here under the shade of the Bodhi tree. The Dhammachakra Pavatana Sutra is the first sermon that Buddha preached after his enlightenment, attaining enlightenment here in Bodh Gaya, and preaching his first sermon at Sarnath in Varanasi. The recitation of the Dhammachakra Pavatana Sutra is about 50 minutes, so I request all our lay devotees to please be seated in quietness and listen to the recitation, or you may recite the sutras which is in this book. As we have enough light now, it is visible, and request everyone to peacefully listen to the recitation of the Dhammachakra Pavatana Sutra by the Venerable Mahasangha assembled here under the shade of the Bodhi tree.
Để tiếp tục chương trình sẽ là phần trùng tụng bài kinh Chuyển Pháp Luân, bài kinh đầu tiên Đức Phật đã dạy ở tại vườn Nai. Và các quý vị nào có thể đọc Pali thì có thể sử dụng cái quyển sổ này, hoặc chúng ta có thể nhắm mắt ngồi trong tư thế thiền tọa để lắng nghe lời trùng tụng của chư tăng và đạo tràng.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ewang me sutang ekang samayang bhagava paranasiyang viharati isipatane Mikadaye tatra ko bhagava banjawa giyi fikhu amante sidwe me fikhawe anta bamba jitem nanase vitamba yo jayang kame suka masukhalika no yogo hino gammo bodhuan janiko anariyo อนาถสังหิโตโยยายังอาตกิลมัทานุโยโกโดโคอานาริโยอนาถสังหิโตเอเตเตเฟกเวอุโฟอันเตหานุบากามมาชิมาปฏิบัติตถาคตนาฟิสัมบุญทาจักขุการณิญาณการณิอุปัสสมายาปิญญายาสัมพุทธายานิพพานายาสังวัตติกัตตมาจัสสะเฟขเวมาชิมาปฏิบัติตถาคตนาฟิสัมบุญทาจักขุการณิญาณการณิอุปัสสมายาปิญญายาสัมโพธายานิพพานายาสังวันตติอายะเมวะอริโยอาทังกิโกมังโกเสยทิดังสัมมาเดทิสัมมาสังกัมโบสัมมาวาจาสัมมากัมมันโตสัมมาชีวสัมมาวายาโมสัมมาสติสัมมาสมาธิอายังโคสาเฟขเวมาชิมาปฏิบัติตถาคตนาฟิสัมพุทธาจักขุการณิญาณการณิอุปัสสมายาปิญญายาสัมพุทธายานิพพานายาสังวันตติดังโคบานาภิกขเวดุขังอริยสัจจังชาติปิดุขังจาราปิดุขังยาทิปิดุขังมารานังบิดุขังอาบิเยหิสัมบาโยโกดุมโคบิเยหิเวบาโยโกดุมโคยัมบิชังนาลาปฏิตามบิดุงขังสังเขเตนะปัญจุบาดานาขันธาดุงขาหิดังโคบานาเพียขเวดุมขาสมุดายังอริยสัจจังยายังตันหาบุโนมภาวิกานันดิรากสหกตาตัตราภินันดินิเสยทิดังกามตัณหังวิภวตัณหาอิดังโคปานาภิกขเวดุมขานิโรธังอริยสัจจังโยตาสาเยวตัณหายาเสสวิรากนิโรโธจักโกปฏิเนสังโฆมุติอนาลโยหิดังโคปานาภิกขเวดุมขานิโรธกามินิปฏิ ปดาอริยสัจจังหายะเมวะหาริโยอาทังกิโกมังโกไสยทิยังสัมมาเดทิสัมมาสังกัมโบสัมมาวายาสัมมากัมมันโตสัมมาอาชีโวสัมมาวายาโมสัมมาสติสัมมาสมาธิดังโดขังอริยสัจจันติเมเฟียคาเวบุเบหานันโดสุเตสุธัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติยาโลโกอุรบาติตังโคปานิดังโดขังอริยสัจจังบริเนยยันติเมเฟียคาเวบมเบหานันโดสุเตสุตัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติยาโลโกอุรบาติตังโคปานิดังโดขังอริยสัจจังบริญญาตันติเมเฟียคาเวบุมเบอานันโดสุเตสุธัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติอโลโกอุรบาติดังดงขัสสมุทัยยังอริยสัจจันติเมเฟียคาเวบมเบอานันโดสุธัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติอโลโกอุรบาติตังโคบานิดังโดมขาสมุดายาอริยสัจจังบาหาตาปันติเมเฟียคาเวอนุสุเตสุธัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติอโลโกอุรบาติตังโคปานิดังดงขัสสมุทัยโยอริยสัจจังบาหินันติเมเพียคาเวอนันโดสุเตสุธัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติอโลโกอุรบาติดังดมขานิโรธังอริยสัจจันติเมเฟคเวบุมเบหานันโดสุเตสุธัมเมสุจักขุงอุรบาติญาณังอุรบาติปัญญาอุรบาติเวชาอุรบาติอาโลโกอุร บาดิตังโคบานิดังดุมขานิโรธังอริยสัจจังสัจจิกาตาปันติเมเฟคเวบเปอานันดุสุเตสุธรรมเมสุจักขุงอุดาบาดิญาณังอุดาบาดิปัญญาอุดาบาดิเวชาอุดาบาดิอาโลโกอุดาบาดิตังโคบานิดังดุมขานิโรธังอริยสัจจังสัจจิกาตันติเมเพียขเวบุมเบหานานุสุเตสุธรรมเมสุจักขุงอุดาบาดิญาณังอุดาบาดิปัญญาอุดาบาดิเวชาอุดาบาดิอาโลโกอุดาบาดิดังดุมขานิโรธกามินิปฏิปทาอริยสัจจันติเมเฟียขเวบุมเบหานันดุสุเตสุธรรมเมสุจักขุงอุดาบาดิญาณังอุดาบาดิปัญญาอุดาบาดิเวชาอุดาบาดิอาโลโกอุดาบาดิตังโคบานิดังดุมขานิโรธกามินิปฏิปทาอริยสัจจังฟาเวตาปันติเมเฟียขเวบุมเบอนันโนสุเตสุธรรมเมสุจักขุงอุดาบาดิญาณังอุดาบาดิปัญญาอุดาบาดิเวชาอุดาบาดิอาโลโกอุดาบาดิตังโคปานิดังดุมขานิโรธกามินิปฏิปทาอริยสัจจังฟาวิตันติเมเฟียขเวบุมเบหานันดุสุธรรมเมสุจักขุงอุดาบาดิญาณังอุดาบาดิปัญญาอุดาบาอุดาบาดิอาโลโกอุดาบาดิยาวะเกวัญจะเมเพียงขเวหิเมสุจาตุสุอริยสัจเจสุเอวังติบาริวัตาดวาดัสสาการัมยถาภูตังญาณดัสสนังนาสุเวสุทังอโหสิเนวตาวาหังเพียขเวสเดงวะเกระเกสารัมมะเกสาสมณรัมมานิยาปัจจายสเดวมนุสายานุตรังสัมมาสัมพุทธินอาภิสัมพุทโธบัญจัญญาสิมยโตจักโคเมเฟขเวอิเมสุจาตุสุอริยสัจเจสุเอวังติปาริวัตันดวาดัสสาการัมยถาภูตังญาณดัสสนังสุวิสุทังอโหสิอาทาหังเฟ phiệt khá quê sa đê wa kê lô kê sa ma ra kê sa ram ma kê Bá cha ya sa đê wa ma nua sa ya ha nua ta rang sam ma sam bồ thiên na phi sam thô bang chang ya sinh ya nang cha ba na me đa sa nang u đa ba di a kum ba men chi tô vi mua ti Yang anti ma cha ti na da ni bu nam pha vô ti đăng a vô cha pha ka wa a ta ma na bang cha wang gi ya phi khu pha ka wa to pha si tang a phi nan duan ti pa na wei ya Karanasmin Phanya ne Yasamato Kondanya Savira Vitamalang Hamma Chang Khung Huda Ba Di Yang Kinchi Samudaya Dhammang Sabang Niro Tha tham man ti ba wa ti te cha pa na pha kha wa ta tham ma chang ke phom ma de wa sathan dhamma nua sa ve sung anua sa ve sung me tăng pha kha wa ta Varanasi yang hi si pata ne megada ye hanua tarang Dhammang bhavati tang hambati vati yang samane na wa rammane na wa dewe na wa mare na wa ram Đê na chi wa lô ca sa miên ti iti ha te na kha ne na te nam mô huam te na ya wa ram ma lô ca sa đô a phu gan chi a yan sa ha si Lô ca tha tu sang cam bê sam ba cam bê sam Ve thi am ba ma no wa u la ro o phu ta pu ra ho si a te kam ma de wa nang Đê wa nu pha wang a tha khô pha kha wang Uda ne si anh nha si wa ta phu con đăng yo anh nha si wa ta phu con đăng yo ti ti hi đăng Ayasamato con đăng nha sa anh nha con đăng yo ta we nam mang Aho Siti Sadhu 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 Buddha Sasanang Chirang Tithantu Sadhu Sadhu
After the recitation of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, we almost conclude with today's opening ceremony of the 17th International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. I would now invite Ms. Wangmu Dixie, the President of the Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, to please propose the vote of thanks.
So beautiful chanting. Thank you, Bhante. This year, we have so many people to thank. As we all know, Vietnam took the lead as the chief organizer, and their preparations began almost a year ago on Zoom and on meetings, many meetings to create this beautiful function that we are now benefiting from. And so I have some names here that I would like to say thank you to the main sponsors for the food, the main sponsors for the flowers and decoration, and water and tea and coffee. But especially I think this year, many of us recognize the tents that are all new around here. And this was offered by the great Vietnamese devotees. They wanted to give the Sangha a beautiful shelter. And so much upgrade. When we first started in the first years, it was so simple. We just had a small tent. Actually, we didn't have a tent. We were just under this Bodhi tree, and we had a very simple wood platform, and very simple. But now it's incredible to see this kind of devotion and this kind of offering coming forward by hundreds of lay devotees. I've been told that there are more than 1,000 Vietnamese who have come here this year. Even after a gap of 2 years, I think this is the most we have seen from Vietnam. And not only Theravada, but also Mahayana. I'm so proud to see this kind of unity of the Sangha, to see sisterhood and brotherhood from the different yanas. You know, even though my father comes from the Vajrayana tradition, but I am so lucky to be with the Theravada and now to see the sisters and Dharma brothers from the Mahayana tradition. It's just incredible. So I would like to please mention some names because I feel the merit goes to them, especially under this Bodhi tree.
Trước qua rất là nhiều những cuộc họp và bàn và đưa ra rất nhiều các kế hoạch khác nhau, và hôm nay chúng ta đã thành tựu. Chúng ta có thể nhìn thấy hiện nay xung quanh cội Bồ Đề có rất nhiều những cái điều mới mà từ lúc đầu chúng tôi chỉ là một cái sự kiện nhỏ dưới cái cội cây Bồ Đề thôi, thì hôm nay chúng ta có thể thấy tất cả các lều của các nước đều mới, đều được tặng bởi những người bạn Việt Nam. Chúng tôi được biết rằng có hơn 2.000 người, có gần 2.000 các đạo hữu Việt Nam đã chung tay làm nên cái sự kiện lịch sử này, và tôi thực sự là tri ân và cảm động với cái sự nỗ lực đó. Sau đây tôi xin và cảm ơn những vị thí chủ rất đặc biệt, cũng như là các bạn trong ban tổ chức. Đây là những cái tên mà tôi muốn trực tiếp cảm ơn.
I've been working especially with what everyone calls Mr. Happy. And in fact, I wonder why they called him Mr. Happy, because he's always smiling, and he is so happy. I've seen him in many different occasions. Please give a big salute to Mr. Happy. blessing to be here with the Mahasangha for the 17th time. This year we complete the Sutta Pitaka, and it's very lucky that I think Cambodia will begin with the Vinaya Pitaka. And so many people to say thank you to the International Buddhist Federation, IBC in Delhi, from the Ministry of Culture, Uttar Pradesh, from International Tipitaka Chanting Council, and all of the members who work so hard to make this council work together. And then, of course, to all of the Sangha members who make this possible.
Sự kiện năm nay cũng rất đặc biệt, sự kiện nằm trong chuỗi 17 lần Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng thì chúng ta đã hoàn thành bản kinh, là năm Việt Nam sẽ hoàn thành cái sứ mệnh tài trợ tổ chức thứ hai, và tiếp theo là Campuchia sẽ tiếp tục vào năm sau, và chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục Tụng Tam. Đây là một cái rất quan trọng, và tôi không thể nói gì hơn là xin tri ân vô cùng sâu sắc cho các bạn Việt Nam, các chư đại chư đại Đức Tăng ở Ấn Độ cũng như trên toàn thế giới đã cùng nhau bắt tay nhau xiển dương Phật giáo dưới cội Bồ đề linh thiêng này.
So finally, my thanks, which will continue every day under at Kala Chakra, as we begin the recitation tomorrow with the voice from Vietnam. It is my only wish for the Mahasangha to please preserve and protect these most precious teachings for the longevity of the Buddha Sasana here in this motherland of India. And with that, I would like to ask our Vietnamese Dharma brother to please come and speak all the names, because I am not knowing all of the pronunciation. So I will ask our Dharma brother to please consider these are the great upasikas and upasok who made this possible for this function. Thank you so much.
Và vừa rồi là phần trùng tụng kinh chuyển pháp luân chính thức bắt đầu đại lễ trùng tụng Tam Tạng kinh điển lần thứ 17, và sau đây tôi xin mời đại diện của đoàn Việt Nam lên để xướng danh các vị thí chủ.
Nam mô Buddhaya. Trước hết con xin thành kính đảnh lễ Tam Bảo và chư tôn đức tăng ni hiện tiền. Con cũng xin kính gửi lời chào đến tất cả quý vị quan khách cùng Phật tử đến tham dự đại lễ trùng tụng Tam Tạng Thánh Điển Pali lần thứ 17 năm 2022 tại Bồ Đề Đạo Tràng, Ấn Độ. Con vô cùng vinh dự và may mắn khi được đại diện cho nhóm các đại thí chủ Việt Nam dâng lời tri ân đến ân đức Tam Bảo cùng tất cả các vị trong ban tổ chức của ITCC quốc tế và ITCC Việt Nam đã tổ chức đại lễ trùng tụng Tam Tạng Thánh Điển Pali hàng năm. Chúng con rất may mắn khi được đóng góp phần công đức nhỏ nhoi của mình trong việc phụng sự cho đại lễ và cầu nguyện Tam Bảo gia hộ cho đại lễ trùng tụng Tam Tạng Thánh Điển Pali lần thứ 17 được thành công mỹ mãn. Con xin nguyện đem những công đức này hồi hướng cho việc phụng sự đại lễ và hồi hướng cho tất cả các pháp giới chúng sanh được thành tựu 5 pháp như Đức Phật đã dạy: sống lâu, sắc tốt, an vui, sức mạnh và có trí tuệ. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Nam mô Buddhaya. Firstly, I would like to pay homage to the Triple Gem and the Order of Monks and Nuns. I would like to send warm regards to the delegates, devotees participating in the 17th Tipitaka Chanting at Bodh Gaya. I'm so honored and feeling fortunate to, on behalf of the Vietnamese main sponsors, to offer my respect to the Triple Gem and also the delegates from the organizing committee. I also ITCC International and ITCC Vietnam chapter in making this event a great success. I'm fortunate to offer my humble donation to the success of this event and wish for the Triple Gem blessing to the success of this sacred event. I would like to share these merits to everybody and wish for all accomplish 5 Dhamma benefits taught by the Blessed One, which are longevity, wellness, peace, health, and wisdom. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
So this is a token of appreciation to the Vietnamese main sponsors.
Kính bạch chư Tôn Đức, bác sĩ Phước cũng là một trong những vị đã hỗ trợ và giúp đỡ rất nhiều trong đại lễ trùng tụng Tam Tạng Thánh Điển Bali năm nay. Gia đình bác sĩ cũng có nhân duyên hỗ trợ cho chư Tôn Đức Tăng Ni trong quá trình mà thực hiện công tác chuẩn bị. Thì ban tổ chức đại lễ tụng Tam Tạng Thánh Điển Bali Việt Nam có chuẩn bị một cái hình tượng của bác sĩ Kỳ Bà, bác sĩ Jivaka. Đây là một trong những vị ngự y của Đức Vua Tần Bà Sa La và là người chăm sóc sức khỏe cho Đức Phật và Tăng đoàn. Đại diện cô Quảng Mô tặng đến bác sĩ như một lời cảm ơn của ban tổ chức đại lễ cho các đại thí chủ Việt Nam. Con xin thành kính Now continue.
So this comes at a very special time because actually I won't be here for the closing ceremony. I have some other thing to do. So I would like to, with my heart full gratitude to the Vietnamese for this year's incredible offering, for everything that you've done, especially Sister Venerable Leo Phop and all of her great friends in Dhamma. I feel very supported. Please Leo Phop. This comes at a very special time where we now move to the next year's who will be the next chief organizer. And so with the Cambodian temple here in Bodh Gaya, that we also know very well. We have the wonderful news that we would like to present. The next chief organizer officially with the memorabilia. So I am going to go and get this because I think somebody can get for me, or I can go there. Just to say that symbolically, now is the time that we would like to make it open for the next organizer, which will be Cambodia for 2023 and 2024. May I ask the most respected Venerable from Cambodia to please receive the next symbol of turning the light of the Dhamma under the Bodhi tree, and to hand over the role from Vietnam as the great Mahasangha that did an incredible 2 years of being the chief organizer. And now we hand over officially, coming in 2023, from the Vietnamese Mahatero to the Cambodian representative from Cambodian Buddhist Association of America.
Đây là lễ trao truyền cái biểu tượng của ánh sáng giáo pháp được truyền từ trưởng ban tổ chức Việt Nam đến trưởng ban tổ chức Campuchia.
So Cambodian angels, nhiệt nhôm Khmer xôm chơi má. I would like to invite all Cambodian ladies, the beautiful angels, come to receive the the symbols of next year Tipitaka Chanting International, and we are so grateful to receive from our brothers, sisters from Vietnam and our ITCC and ITCC committee.
Đại diện cho Campuchia, tôi vô cùng tri ân và cảm thấy vinh dự được đón nhận cái biểu tượng quan trọng này từ ban tổ chức đoàn Việt Nam.
It is great auspicious time that we receive. We will organize Cambodian over the world from the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society, led by our Timini Myung Sang, the president, and incorporated with the Sangha Councils of Cambodia and the Cambodian Temple in India.
Đây là đoàn đại biểu các Phật tử và các đại diện từ Phật giáo Campuchia từ trên toàn thế giới, Ấn Độ cũng như tại quê nhà của chúng tôi.
And thank you for everyone, and I would like also invite you to help us for the next year, especially our brother and sister from Vietnam, from Thailand, Mr. Happy, Mr. Kunsurisa, Holy Hippo, and everyone, especially ITCC and BTMC, and all our lady devotees. Please come to help us also next year.
Tôi cũng kính mong được gặp lại những cái gương mặt thân quen này từ các chư đại đức tăng ni, các bạn đạo hữu nam, đạo hữu nữ, những người đã bỏ rất là nhiều công sức để làm đến sự thành công của sự kiện, và chúng tôi cũng kính mong các bạn có mặt tại đây năm sau để cùng chia cái phước tuyệt vời này với Campuchia.
We do in the names of our Father, the Lord Buddha, our Father. Even though we are Cambodia, Vietnam, Thai, Laos, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, or international India, we are the sons and daughters of the Buddha. So we do in the names of our Father, Lord Buddha.
Chúng ta cùng thực hành cái thiện pháp này với cái hồng danh của người cha của chúng ta, đó là Đức Phật, và chúng ta đều là con trai, con gái của Ngài. Chúng ta rất tự hào được đứng bên nhau để cùng hoàn mãn cái phước, đại phước này.
Buddha work for the benefit of many, for the happiness of many, for the harmonies of many. That's why many people come around the world to under the shadows of the sacred protest to promote his teaching and spread over the world. So we need to do for many, for happiness for many people like the Buddha, our Father, does.
Và đây là biểu tượng của sự đoàn kết khi tất cả các nước cùng chung tay với nhau. Chúng tôi rất cảm ơn ban tổ chức đã trao cho Campuchia cái vinh dự này.
Thank you again and wish you all the best. Please come and help. Thank you very much.
Xin trân trọng cảm ơn.
Anumodani. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sappapapasya karunang kusala sopasampada sacitta pariyotapanang etam buddhana sasanam.
That was the auspicious handing over to the next chief organizer for the 2024 International Tipitaka Chanting Ceremony. Now we conclude today's opening ceremony by offering of gifts to the Sangha present here, which will be followed by lightening of lamps.
Và chúng ta sẽ hoàn mãn buổi lễ ngày hôm nay bằng việc cúng dường các món quà của các thí chủ Việt Nam đến chư Đại Đức Tăng. Và sau đó là nghi thức đốt đèn.
So it's very important for Sangha to know who's behind every offering, and sometimes you may just hear the name, but it's important to bring the person in front of Sangha. So I like to ask for the devotee who sponsored all of the tents to please come to the front.
Tôi cũng muốn mời các thí chủ mà cúng dường những cái lều mới xin tiến về phía trước của khán đài.
This was more than $70,000 US.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Xin mời cô Quỳnh Giao phòng khám hợp nhân đi ăn không? Mời phòng khám hợp nhân. Mời phòng khám hợp nhân.
Kính mời cô Quỳnh Giao của phòng khám hợp danh. We would like to invite Madam Quỳnh Giao, our main sponsor, proceed to the stage.
Nói cho phòng khám.
Anh nói đi, tôi không biết nói gì đâu. Tôi dịch tiếng Anh.
So now we come to the time where all the Sanghadana from the Vietnamese people, they would like to offer to the senior Mahateros. So please come forward and respectfully make offerings to each country Mahatero, starting maybe coming this way, all the way to this forward. Richard, you can follow Richard.
Mời tất cả các thí chủ chúng ta di chuyển về phía đằng này và mỗi thí chủ đứng trước một vị đại diện cho một quốc gia. Chúng ta xếp vào đội hình trước, xong chúng ta được cùng đồng loạt thực hiện nghi thức cúng dường.
Thưa các đại đức và đại chúng, lần này đoàn Phật tử Việt Nam chúng con xin kính dường lên các chư đại đức tăng bức tượng Phật được design bởi người Việt Nam và đặc biệt được làm bằng gỗ huỳnh đàn, một loại gỗ thơm vĩnh viễn và mãi mãi, một loại rất là quý ở Việt Nam.
So these special images of the Buddha were created by Vietnamese artists and with a really special wood kokunda, the perfume, the scents last forever, really uniquely created from Vietnam.
Đây là một gỗ thơm của Việt Nam và chúng con xin dâng cúng dường cái hương thơm đó từ đất nước chúng con cho tất cả các vị và giữ mãi vĩnh viễn như lòng chúng con luôn luôn hướng về các chư vị cho từ nay cho đến muôn đời sau.
We would like to offer this sense and as a token of appreciation for now and ever.
I don't think I ever see such beautiful Buddhas. When I saw this Buddha, I almost want to cry. It's so beautiful. And then the smell is amazing.
Tôi chưa bao giờ nhìn thấy tượng Phật nào lại tuyệt vời đến vậy mà tôi gần như là muốn xúc động, muốn khóc khi nhìn thấy hình ảnh đó, và đặc biệt lại khi được cảm nhận được mùi hương tuyệt vời, tôi cảm thấy rất là tri ân. Đoàn Việt Nam đã có món quà tuyệt vời này.
So lovely to see all the upasikas making offerings. It really just, my heart feels so happy.
Mỗi lần nhìn các sự kiện cúng dường, trái tim tôi thực sự là lay động. Tôi muốn chia tất cả những phước lành này đến cho toàn thể đại chúng. On behalf of all the Vietnamese donors, we would like to share these merits to the whole assembly, wishing for the benefits of the Dhamma to all.
Sadhu, sadhu. So beautiful.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. A token of memory from this year, from Vietnam. We have 10 days now to go forward. Starting tomorrow, we will hear from the Vietnamese. When we first started, we had many different sounds under the Bodhi tree. If you remember, the tent and the big microphone, small microphone, everybody having same sound at this many sounds. Now, after 17 years, one sound, one voice. And so tomorrow we will hear the sound from Vietnam in Pali, and we will begin to open up the book, the Anguttara Nikaya. And I think this year we will complete the 1,000 pages, and then when we hand over to Cambodia, we will open with the Vinaya Pitaka. We thank you so much, Bhante. In our hearts, we always keep in mind our president, who passed away during this COVID period, Venerable U Nyanananda. He was the light from the very beginning when I met him. I didn't know anything, and I would go to him and he would advise. So, and he's not here with us anymore, but I'm sure he's in a very good place, and he must be very happy with everything that we're doing with the Mahasangha. So please, during the next 10 days, think of Venerable U Nyanananda. He was a great monk who was always in the middle. I never felt like he had any kind of sides. When Venerable Amaro speaks about having a position or a fixed view, I always felt like he had something in the middle to say about everything, and I learned so much from his example. Now we would like to continue with the offerings. Please come forward. Again, Vietnam has a beautiful ceramic bowl. Very, very beautiful ceramic bowl by So, Sister Venerable Bhikkhuni Leo Pop has just mentioned to me about the chief organizer that was very much behind Vietnam in the first year, and he passed away, Venerable, and Phap Tin. So please, all Venerable monastics, think of Venerable Phap Tin, and keep him in your heart, because I remember him from the beginning. He was very kind, always energetic, and always wanting to help, and always smiling and wanting to do the good work. Thank you.
Và tôi cũng nhớ một vị chư tăng rất đặc biệt là Sư Pháp Tính, là trưởng ban tổ chức của kỳ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng Kinh điển lần thứ 16. Ngài thực sự là tuyệt vời. Đã tổ chức cái sự kiện đó rất là chỉnh chu, và hôm nay Ngài đã không có mặt ở đây với tất cả chúng ta. Chúng ta hãy để một phần của Ngài ở trong trái tim mình trong sự kiện năm nay.
And also, during the last 2 years, maybe there are monks and nuns that passed away. We don't know all the names, but please, during the next 10 days, think of them. Or if you like to bring a photo, we can bring here in the front, and we can make a puja for them and remember them and dedicate our merit to wherever they are.
Ngoài tri ân Sư Pháp Tính thì tôi cũng muốn tất cả anh chị em trong đạo tràng chúng ta sẽ tri ân và tưởng nhớ những người mà đã khuất trong kỳ đại dịch vừa qua. Đó là các chư tăng, chư ni, các vị đạo hữu, các người bạn đã đứng đằng sau tất cả những cái công việc xiển dương Phật Pháp, như sự kiện của năm nay cũng như những sự kiện của các năm trước.
Thank you. So now we would like to offer from our side to the Venerable monks. Richard?
Dạ, Nam Mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Ngày hôm nay, ngày 2 Tây tháng 12 năm 2022, buổi lễ khai mạc lễ Trùng Tụng Tam Tạng Thánh Điển Pali lần thứ 17 tại Bồ Đề, Bodh Gaya là nơi thánh địa thiêng liêng của người con Phật. Và ngày hôm nay diễn ra lễ khai mạc được thành công mỹ mãn, nhất là buổi lễ trùng tụng lại bài kinh đầu tiên Đức Phật
let us have a very blessed and very successful program dedicating to all beings, especially those who may have passed during the last 2 years from COVID. Thank you so much.